Binoculars. Now they're lighter than the older Shasta Ridges. New sleek design, fog-proof, waterproof, BAK4 prisms, phase-coated, and the lenses are multi-coated. Inexpensive pair of binoculars with great quality. So if you're looking to save a little money, but still put quality in your backpack, make sure you check out the Alpen Shasta Ridge Binoculars. Well, I'm out doing a little bit of late evening scouting, just looking for deer and waiting for them to come out into the field. But I've got a new pair of Alpen Teton binoculars. You know, a lot of times people will ask me, what binoculars are best in low light situations? Well, that's simple. The answer is the Alpen Teton binoculars. And the reason for that is they have the Abbey Koenig prism, which simply means it allows 94% of available light to get through these binoculars, making them an excellent pair of binoculars in low light. So if you're looking for a pair of binoculars that will see detail into a dark timber right now, this time of the evening, make sure you check out the Alpen Teton binoculars. You'll be glad you did. Oh, here's some deer coming out right now. All right, this time we're going to show you how to sight in the Alpen Apex scope. Now Ryan's got his AR-10 and he's got the Alpen Apex 4.5 by 27. Now he also has the sunshade and the honeycomb on it, and it comes with the scope. And what it does is it filters out all this sunlight that we're dealing with here today. So again, your gun would already be bore sighted like this one is. Take the first shot and then we'll show you how to make the adjustments after that shot. All right, so as I said, the next step was to bring the crosshairs down to the bullet. But before we do that, we're gonna take the caps off and we're gonna pull the turrets off, okay? And there's 3 set screws in there that we're gonna loosen up. We're gonna go ahead and make those adjustments, get everything sighted in, and when we finalize the sight in, we're gonna tighten those set screws, put the turret back so we have a 0 position on it, and then we'll put the caps back on and we're good to go. The next step now is Ryan's gonna hold the bullseye on the red dot, and I'm gonna make adjustments to bring the crosshairs down and over to the bullet. And that's what we're gonna do right now. Pretty close, aren't we?
Yeah, just hair to the
right. I gotta go to the left. It's gotta go left, right? Or not? Yeah, I got to go to the left. Are you on? Yep. Okay, so I think this is right.
Good.
And I got to go down just a little.
Yeah. Other way.
Other way.
Just the side of that red, but I pulled.
So we can pretty much assume that we're on, you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's in the red.
All right, that's all it takes. 3 shots and we're in the red. Hi, I'm Rick White with Alpen Optics, and I want to talk to you today about the new Alpen Shasta Ridge binoculars. Now they're lighter than the older Shasta Ridges. New sleek design, fog-proof, waterproof, BAK4 prisms, phase-coated, and the lenses are multi-coated. Inexpensive pair of binoculars with great quality. So if you're looking to save a little money, but still put quality in your backpack, make sure you check out the Alpen Shasta Ridge Binoculars.
2, 1.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to once again another episode of On the Hunt with Alpen Optics. I'm your host, Rick White, and tonight is a show that you're going to definitely want to stick around for. Miss Brenda Valentine will be our guest, and another special at the end of the show. So sit back, relax, and we'll see you in about 30 seconds. And welcome back, everybody, once again on the hunt with Alpen Optics, and I hope he's doing good this evening. Now I'm outside. We've got some storms in the area, so hopefully it holds out. Otherwise, I may have to run for cover during the middle of the show, but that's okay. Paul jump in. He'll take over for a little bit, and of course our guest tonight comes all the way from Tennessee, Miss Brenda Valentine. Brenda, how are you doing?
I am wonderful, Rick, and just tickled to be here and see your smiling face.
Well, that's good. That's good because deer season is upon us, and that makes me smile a lot. In fact, I'm heading to, we were talking earlier, I'm heading to Georgia tomorrow. I'm going to start hunting Saturday. Now, I've hunted Georgia for many years, but I've never deer hunted in Georgia, and I'm hunting down in South Georgia. And I don't know if you've hunted Georgia yourself over the years, but I'm going to an area that just really, quite honestly, doesn't have a lot of big deer. I mean, big deer for the area, mature deer, but you're not going to go down there and see 140 and 50-inch deer running all over the place. Not that there isn't a few, but and I'm sure you've hunted other places throughout the United States that are very similar to that as far as size-wise.
That's exactly right. And typically, the further south you go, there are exceptions, but when you get down in lower Alabama and Mississippi and Georgia and the Southeast states, it's that old business of the closer to the equator, the smaller the body size. So, as long as you go knowing that you're not going to hold out for a 200-inch deer, you're going to shoot the first good mature buck that walks by and have a wonderful hunt.
Well, and that's exactly why I'm looking forward to it so much. I just like to hunt. That's the bottom line. And of course, my dad got me involved with hunting when I was very young. But people sometimes living in the Midwest, ask me, why in the world would you want to go south to hunt deer? But just like we said, it's I enjoy hunting that much. And to me, it's not about shooting the biggest deer in the world. Now, we all like to shoot big deer, but I'm just going down for the camaraderie of the hunt and to sit out in a stand and watch deer in a place where I haven't done it before. So I'm really looking forward to it.
That's kind of like my trip to Nebraska. I have such good friends out there, and they have a lot of deer, a lot of mule deer, whitetail. I mean, I'm going to see deer. I'm probably not going to see anything that's going to make my jaws drop, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to spend time with friends and just see the scenery and for the whole experience. And yes, I'll probably shoot a deer and have a wonderful time, but it's a long way to drive. People wonder why I do it. I do it because I love it.
One of the things that over all the years I've been hunting, and I've been doing it for a while, just like yourself. And one of the things that I think I enjoy as much as anything else on a hunt is when there's other people in camp or you're hunting with some other folks on private ground, whatever it might be. And you come in after a hunt and everybody sits down and we start talking about what we saw, what we didn't see, what's going on, what's not going on. I mean, to me, that is, I enjoy that as much as anything. I can sit in the stand and maybe not shoot a deer, but I have just as much fun coming in and talking about the fact that I didn't shoot one.
I fault the DNR in our state and other states too, because we got that same camaraderie, that same enjoyment of hearing everybody's story at the check stations years ago. When you got a deer, or if you didn't get a deer, you went down to the local quick stop, and had coffee and donuts and checked your deer in and hung around for hours just seeing what all come in. And I know people that didn't hunt an hour. As soon as it got good in daylight, they hopped down because they didn't want to miss all the stories at the store. And now, they really encourage you to check your game in online. And it's pretty lackluster when you're just sitting out there punching in your dates and your numbers on your phone, and there's nobody there to celebrate with you. And, a lot of the DNRs, they complain, they think that hunting is declining. That's one of the reasons. A lot of people like you in hunt camp, they want that camaraderie with like-minded people, and everybody would gather up, and brag on the big ones or envy them, and really boost up the kids on their first hunts. And to me, they pulled so much of the joy out of it when they put everything checking in online.
Yeah, I remember, that reminds me back the first deer I ever shot in Wisconsin. And I don't know if they still check them in or not, or if they call them in, but back then we took them to a check station, and I shot one the first day. The first couple hours in the morning, I was fortunate enough to tag out, and I was one of those guys. I mean, I went to the check station, and I think I stayed there for like 2 hours, and I saw all these smiling faces. I mean, there was kids, there was women, there was men. I mean, and they were coming in, some of them with little tiny basket rack deer, but they were so excited. And at that point, that's what it's all about. I mean, go out, have a great experience, and the stories. I mean, to see the smile on these kids' faces, it doesn't get any better.
Yeah, all of our check stations made instant pictures and posted them on the bulletin board, so everybody stopped. I mean, it was a great moneymaker because everybody wanted to stop and just see what was on the board. So,
and the same thing for duck hunting. I mean, we go down. It's kind of the same way. You go out and you get in the the little lodge or whatever you're using, and you go out there and you sit in the blind for 4, 5, 6 hours, and you sit there and talk and have a good time. And then you go back and you cook your ducks, and it's all fun. And I couldn't imagine just going out and getting back in a truck and being done.
That's when the work starts. You sit there on your phone, you check it in, you get a number, you take it home, and you start processing meat. So it's like there's no celebration anymore.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. So anyways, what have you been up to here recently? Have you been out? I'm sure you're doing some kind of hunting at this point.
Oh yeah, you know me. I'm out more than I'm in, but just checking what's going on in the woods. It changes from day to day, and you have to be out monitoring that. And today I was out looking at rubs and scrapes and natural food sources. We aren't allowed to bait or feed here in Tennessee, but golly, I don't know why we'd need to. The persimmon trees, I've got pictures. They're bushels of them. The oak trees, particularly the white oaks this year, have hit, and they're bigger than your thumb. So we'll have some fat deer. It'll be a competition. People that have put a lot of time and work in on food plots probably won't see much action going on there until later in midwinter, when all this natural stuff is eaten up.
Yeah, we have here, and I'm sure probably bordering states, our acorn crop is unbelievable this year. I mean, they are everywhere. And to the deer around here, these white oaks dropping acorns, it's like deer candy, and they are I mean, tearing up the acorns right now. So I'm hoping I would say a majority of them have fell. I just hope they get them cleaned up pretty good, because until those acorns are eaten up, it can be tough hunting, especially if you're hunting early.
Well, they're just wandering, eating and laying down and eating and wandering around. There's no pattern to them. The acorns are so abundant in our pasture that I've had to put the horses in the barn and leave them just because the horses are eating them, and I'm afraid they'll colic from them. And they're like the deer. They're just walking around better than a vacuum cleaner, just sucking them up, and they can get too many. It's not really good for them.
Right. Now we've been finding a few deer, EHD has, which is, fairly typical this time of year to a
Right.
point. I wouldn't say it's a bad year, but it's you know, anytime you're finding them. I found one of my best bucks a week ago. Uh, well, my best oldest mature buck.
I
Decent,
saw that picture on
yeah,
Facebook.
pretty
That
good
was a shame.
rack. I found him dead, and I'm sure it was EHD. He was laying in the pond. But
Mhm.
how's Tennessee? Are you guys deal with that much?
Well, it comes in spurts. We had a pretty bad die-off about 7 or 8 years ago, and it'll be sporadic. Somebody will find one every year, but I have not found another one. And that's one of the things that I get out and roam around just smelling. We have ponds and creeks and stuff on the property here. And I thought, well, you know, if we had any EHD, there would be some, you'd smell them, you know, and but that lasts for a while. But I have not found one, and I've not heard of any of the neighbors finding one. When we had it really bad, you could drive down any country road and you had to keep your windows up. It was that bad. They were laying in the creeks, and it was just terrible.
Yep. Now, you know, I had Matt Moret on a couple of weeks ago from Pennsylvania Game Commission, and we talked a little bit about CWD in Pennsylvania. Now there is CWD in Tennessee, and
Yes.
I know you've kind of been on top of some of that. What's going on down there? Is it bad yet, or is it kind of just starting? Or
I don't think so. We had several of the southwest counties, that is the Memphis area that comes up and along the Mississippi River. Now they've had it for, I think this is probably the 4th year, and it was contained in the counties, and they changed, they made a zone, they changed the regulations in those counties, and they were trying to get a few more deer killed. I think they give you an extra buck, and if you killed one that was testing positive, you got another tag. But I'm up in the very north corner. My county borders Kentucky, and all this time, nothing. And about 2 weeks ago, a lady was driving down the road and saw a doe out in the cemetery, and thought it wasn't looking just right. And she called the game wardens, and they dispatched it. And sure enough, it was
CWD?
positive. Yeah, it was positive. So that put everybody to scrambling. And like I said, we've never been able to hunt over bait, but you were allowed to feed, but just not hunt over it. And we've always been able to have salt or mineral licks, just free choice at that. So they changed that. You're not allowed to feed anytime, and you're not allowed to replenish your mineral licks. You know, if they're already established, you can leave them. You know, I've got some, it's been raining here for several days, and this morning there was water standing in them, just, you know, like a bog, but they just tramp that down. It holds water, and that's just the way it is. But now Kentucky is so alarmed about this that 6 counties that join the Tennessee border, they have changed the regulations there, and they've told them no more feeding in Kentucky. And, you know, that was the big thing there. Everybody did supplemental feeding and everything. Well, that's shut down on all these counties that join. It's the southern counties of Kentucky that join the Tennessee border over on the west side. So, yeah, it's changed a lot of things for hunters. I don't foresee it changing a whole lot with me. How about you?
I'm kind of the same. You know, there was some states early on, and it didn't go anywhere. But there was, and I won't get into, you know, what states and stuff, but there were some states that actually wanted to make it illegal to put in food plots. Now that's, in my mind, that's ridiculous. Now I understand that CWD is certainly an issue, and the DNR certainly know more than I do. Okay.
I'm a biologist.
Yeah, the biology, yes. And, you know, and so they're going to have to come up with a game plan, but there's so much controversy there. You know, we should do this, we should do that. And this baiting thing, you know, we can't bait here in Iowa, of course, but I just don't know that it's much different if I go out and dump out a 5-gallon bucket of soybeans, or go hunt over a 10-acre soybean field.
Agreed.
or 50-acre soybeans field. Deer are going to congregate. They like to be around each other. So even if there's no food plots and it's just pasture grass or alfalfa that they're eating, they're still going to congregate. They're still going to be together. They're still going to eat. And because if you ever been out, I mean, I'm sure you've noticed this. I go out and I'm hunting a 200-acre alfalfa field, and the deer might be in different parts of the field, but they're not scattered throughout the whole field. There's 10 or 20 in this corner and 5 and 6 over. They're always eating together. So trying to keep deer away from each other, and typically that's what they're trying to do by eliminating baiting, you're just not gonna be able to do it. I don't know. I don't know. I think it's certainly a serious thing, and we need to get it figured out, and hopefully we will get it figured out. But I just don't know. I'm not sure.
That herding up, like you're talking about, is their means of protection. Even if they're in that alfalfa field, not every one of them will have their head down eating. There's always one with the head up watching. And then when it eats, another one will take the lookout and have its head up. And so this is just their survival tactic, that it's like they know they're easy prey if they're out on their own. But when you get several eyes there, several noses and ears, then survival is better.
Yeah, and another thing that I sometimes talk about, and again, I'm not saying I'm pro baiting or against baiting. In Iowa, we can't bait, and I'm fine with
we can't here either, so I don't know.
But in states that allow baiting, I always, you've done a lot of seminars throughout the United States. In fact, we've done them together over the years down in Bass Pros and stuff. But what I see is the people that don't want baiting, they argue with the people that bait, and the ones that want baiting argue with the people that don't. And the traditional archery hunter argues with the compound bow and the crossbow and then the guns. And we just have to, as a whole, quit arguing amongst ourselves. There's so many other fights that we need to win that hunters don't need to argue with hunters. And I've always said this: whatever you're hunting with, or however you hunt, if it means that one more person gets out and enjoys hunting in the woods, I'm all for it. I mean, that's my take.
Those people that argue about what's fair and what's not fair and what they do and what they don't do, they need to look at other countries where hunting is not simply a matter of choice. They need to back up and realize how good we have it. That's still one of our freedoms. And I hear that it's for rich people. That's not true. We have all of this public land. Get out and get on it and hunt any way you want to, as long as it's legal.
That's right. I do this once in a while. I'm going to give a shout out to a few people that are on, that are actually watching right now. Jordan Dean.
You mean there's people watching this?
There's people watching. We've got Jordan Dean. And
I thought we was just talking.
Reese Every. Let's see. Becky Whitaker's on there. Jason Miles is on there. A lot of these people. Steve Herndon, and you've hunted.
Yeah.
He owns and operates. Go ahead.
Today, I had a guy ask me about that. He's wanting to book a deer hunt.
Good.
You hear that, Steve?
Yeah, Steve owns and operates Wobbler Creek Outfitters, and I've hunted down there for years. I know he's got a lot of hunters this year, but I believe he has a few bow hunting opportunities that are open. So anyway, Wobbler Creek Outfitters, you can check it out on the website. Steve's one of our pro staff members, but he's got a great place to hunt.
But don't you hate to spread that word? Once the word gets out, it's like, what tree we gonna get in?
That's exactly right. So what have you got planned coming up here? I mean, I know you're going to be doing some hunting. Tennessee, I think the rut, like we were talking earlier, the rut kind of kicks in around, maybe Halloween in the first 2-3 weeks of November. Are you waiting until then to start deer hunting? Or?
For years, we could kill 4 bucks down here, and I was gung-ho, and every season I would just save a tag for that, for the next season. Well, now we're down to 2 bucks. So I pinch those tags just like they were $100 bills. And it's like, okay, early bow season is always just a pot shot. I think a lot of people mess up their hunting because they're out there spreading their stink all over the woods, and they're spooking deer whether they realize it or not. And a lot of times they'll shoot something that they wouldn't shoot a little bit later. Most of the time in October, they're lulled down. The big bucks are fat and lazy. They know the does are not in season. And I go back to the old saying, there's a time for everything, and the time to kill deer is when they're in rut. I mean, you can kill them anytime, but I love it when I'm sitting there and I have not a clue. When a doe comes barreling by me, flipping her tail and running like the wind, man, I go on high alert, just wondering what's after her. And sometimes it'll be a buck and another buck and another buck. And it's like, that's as high as you can get. It's, oh, wow, this is good. Whether it's a shooter or not, it's so exciting. So those are the days that I spend every day, all day out there, just being entertained and loving it.
I miss some of those days, because I used to, our season comes in October 1st. It's in right now. And I used to hunt every evening this time of year I could.
Me too.
And, getting in to what the industry and filming hunts and all that over the years, although I very much enjoy it, it does take a little bit away sometimes, because now I have to wait for a camera guy, and I schedule a camera guy for a couple of weeks, maybe a week and a half here in Iowa. And when you do that, you tend to want to hunt your best opportunity to see more deer, which is going to be November. But I because of that, I miss hunting in October. I would be out right now, and I love this time of year, sitting in a stand, relaxing. So I don't get to do it quite as much. I get a lot of hunting just like yourself, because we do a lot of other states, but I do miss that early season,
Well, don't you think that you foul up your stands after a while? I believe that your highest percentage comes the first couple of times you sit a stand. I don't know if it's a lingering smell. I don't know if they see, I'm not sure, but I have noticed that you can wear a place out. And a lot of people say, oh, I didn't spook a thing. Well, you may not have heard them run off and blow, but let me tell you, when they come through, they'll know you've been there.
Oh, I can't think of how many people over the years would either call me when I was working at HS or send me an email saying, I've got 50 acres, I've got 100 acres, and I've got one stand, or I've got two stands set up, and I go in and here I am in the middle of the season, or the rut's starting, and I'm really not seeing a lot of deer, and you're right, you can absolutely overhunt a stand and actually overhunt a piece of property, because if you don't have a lot of property and you overhunt it, you're going to run your deer out of there. You're going to educate your deer. They may just start to go nocturnal on you, maybe is all that's happening, or they move. So take, like you're saying, take the best opportunity and hunt and absolutely. I'm a scent-free fanatic. So and I don't know what you use. I use Limashield, which I like very much, but you have to play the wind. Bottom line, I don't care what scent elimination you use, you have to play the wind. And if you don't, well, then you're not going to see the deer that you're
just sitting in the woods.
That's right.
Now I tell people, if you enjoy just going and watching the sunrise and listening to the birds, go on. But if you want to go and kill a deer, stay at the house until the time's right.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much how my deer hunting would go. I would just be sitting in the woods, just staring,
watching the sunrise and listening to the birds, and
that's about all I can do.
Brenda, I know, and we all know some of the best hunters in the world, and yourself, you've been very successful, and I've shot a lot of deer. In fact, I was just talking to Stan Potts the other day.
Somebody just pulled up and my snails were going nuts.
Hey, we're running
Feed the dogs, Rick.
But I was talking to Stan Potts the other day, and he's another very successful deer hunter. We are successful for many reasons, but one of them is just knowing when to hunt and when not to hunt. I mean, yes, I know the average person takes a week off and you've got to hunt that week. I understand that, but early in the season, I like to hunt evenings. I do not like to walk across those food sources to get to a bedding area. It educates the deer. I just won't do it. And I know a lot of people that they want to hunt in the mornings, and that's fine, but you do take that risk, you know.
That's
so
exactly right. You'll bust them out going in, and you may as well turn around and go back home.
that's right.
So Rick,
Now,
Rick,
yes,
we've got a special this week. Did you get the email on that? I don't.
I do have it. So let me go over that here.
This is the
And,
best part of the show.
Yeah, well, this is a special tonight. If you we have all kinds of specials, but this is a premium pair of binoculars, and I actually have a couple of these. But this is the Bresser Everest binocular. It's an 8x42, and it's starting to get a little bit dark here, so I'm hard to read. But the model number.
Readers out, Rick.
Yeah, I need them. Model number, not quite yet, but it is.
He's proud.
Model number 17-02000. Anyways, 8x42 Bresser Everest binoculars, and they are waterproof. They have ED glass, and that's the big thing. ED glass. Yep, and has the locking diopter system. So once if you owned them for yourself and you set the diopter, once you set it, you don't ever have to touch it again. And that, of course, they have a lifetime warranty, which is also nice. The thing about ED glass, when it gets like now here in Iowa, it's getting low. We've got an overcast, and when you look into the timber will be dark. It looks dark. And ED glass, what it does is it allows more light to hit the lens. That gives you more depth of field, and you can actually see into those darker areas, and everything is in focus. So you can see that darker thing. You can actually see deer walking in the woods, which you wouldn't even be able to see with your naked eye right now. So they are nice for that. But anyway, normal price on these is $499.99, so $500. On the Hunt special, half price, $250.
Woo.
And yeah, for ED glass, I mean, it's a little higher end binocular, but it's well worth it. It's 50% off.
I was gonna say that's the deal.
It is. And all you have to do is go to bresserusa.com or alpen.com. And when you go and order those, the Everest 8x42s, in the promo code section, just type in "on the hunt" with no spacing, and you'll get the 50% off. And that's good through Sunday at midnight. And I don't know if Paul's put up a picture of those at all. Or,
yep, got them up.
And I should have brought mine out. I've got a pair. I love these. These are one of my go-to binoculars. I have several, but this is one of them. And I love the ED glass, especially when I'm hunting in the woods early season with all the leaves on the trees. When it starts to get dark in the evening, and it's kind of hard to tell. You see a deer out there moving and you're not really sure what it is. If you pick up binoculars with ED glass, you can hone right in on them. So another great special. Brenda, there's the average age of hunters seems to be going up a little bit. Are you still seeing?
Where are you going with this?
Well, I'm wondering, are you still seeing a lot of women out there that are still enjoying the sport?
Yes, I am. I have quite a following, and they're messaging me all the time. And I think at one time it was a certain demographic age group, but now, gosh, I'm seeing, from the little preteen girls going with their dad. I'm seeing college girls that aren't married that just gang up 2 or 3 of them and go hunting. And of course, I'm seeing a lot of basically newlywed couples that the gal is out there hunting with her husband. And then I'm seeing retired people that ladies that have looked for, they're active, they feel good, they want to fill their time, and they're just wearing it out, particularly turkey hunting. Seems like and I can understand that. It's something that a woman can pack out her own turkey, and she doesn't have to feel dependent and have someone help drag a deer. But usually you're a 2-season hunter. You hunt one in the spring and one in the fall. But yes, I am. And I can attribute a lot of that to many of the women in the outdoor programs, that the encouragement, and the manufacturers that have also been open about bringing forth equipment that is female friendly.
Right. I would challenge every hunter that's watching and everyone you talk to, whenever possible, try to get a kid involved with hunting, because that is the future of hunting, is our kids. And it seems like we have a lot less kids getting into hunting nowadays than what they did, certainly in my
Too much
era.
competition.
That's right. That's right. I see Michael Giovanni. He's hunting in Illinois right now. He's watching. And William Sullivan, I think you know William from down in Florida. He's watching. But anyways, Brenda, it is time for me to I guess start cooking dinner. I got to fire up the grill. But I appreciate you coming on once again, and we'll get you on here in the near future, hopefully.
It's been a quick show. I'm telling you, we didn't cover everything that we planned to talk about, but I always look forward to the next time and value the experience.
All right. Well, good luck to you, and I'll be talking to you. And folks, thank you guys for coming along. You've been watching On the Hunt with Alpen Optics. And if you're heading out hunting, hunt safe and good luck.
That's right.
Good night, everybody.
Good luck, everybody.